Rings of Power have definitely been a mixed bag for me. On the one hand, this was the first time I've ever felt the draw and wonder of the fantastical world of Middle-earth and beyond, partly due to the CGI and amazing practical and computer-generated effects. That money was definitely worth it, but also mostly due to the fact that I watched Return of the King on the airplane and got bored, not gonna lie. But yes, this show looks and sounds spectacular. Bear McCreary's soundtrack earned emotional moments that I didn't really feel were justified. The cinematography and acting for what they were given were very, very strong. However, there were always a few glaring issues. Some of the YouTubers I follow have proclaimed this show has had a death by 1,000 cuts. And while I don't think the show ever truly died, it was profusely bleeding at some points. For every strong moment, such as the Dwarf King ripping Durin's princely chess piece off him, we had another where the political speeches of a leader felt acted and forced because the crowd viewing them are so fickle and insubstantial. For every neat twist, such as the people of the Southlands being baited into killing their own kind, paired with this haunting tinkling from the soundtrack, we are wondering, wait, why did the Numenors ride all the way to this random dinky village? And how did they get all those horses on 3 ships? But it wasn't just on the micro level that there were these issues. No, it was on the macro too, the overall pacing. The whole structure of the show feels a little off. The show feels simultaneously crammed and spread too thin. We are given so many viewpoints to get invested in to make it feel like the world is so large and vast in scale, yet we spend so little time with each group. It is really hard to get invested into each set of characters. When I think of Numenor, this great city and civilization, the visuals that come to my mind are these grand sweeping views of a vibrant city. And yet, when I think back there, the city only feels small and much less grand. We don't spend any time out of the view of our main characters. No focus on the regular people is given. We instantly go straight to the top of their society, and in turn it feels much less expansive than an actual living, breathing city. I could see a whole season being spent here, not just roughly an hour and 30 minutes of screen time. However, I'm not going to act like I'm a writer or know how to do it better, but I know I've seen it done better, much better, elsewhere. So then, how do all these issues make the twist in the finale work so well? At least for me. First, let's get some disclaimers out of the way. I'm not a massive Tolkien fan. I passively enjoy him, but #Lewis is better. So if there were many clues that made the reveal super obvious, then sorry, my normie brain just didn't catch them. 2, I personally think I fall for twists pretty easily, at least compared to some of my other friends, but this time I was actually watching with a friend and still didn't notice. So yeah. While in retrospect, the twist seems kind of obvious, I think it hit pretty perfectly for me, where the twist doesn't blindside you out of nowhere, but also at the same time, doesn't alert you to the twist before the show wants you to. And finally, once again, I'm not a critic, I'm just a bloke on the internet using pig flesh as my alias. I'm just conveying my experience of the series. Alright, so the twist works for a few reasons. First is the general structure of the episode. The consistent question and focus of many theories, including my own, has been on the stranger and who he is. We know he's a wizard of some sorts, but is he Gandalf? Is he another one of the 5? Or is he someone new entirely? We don't know. But then he is revealed to be Sauron by the scary ladies, and this gives us a lovely bit of cover for our big beautiful boy, Halbrand, who continues on with his fascination of smithing, but in a much more suspicious way. Then we flick back to the Wanderer and realize, wait, he's not Sauron, and oh no, the plot has been twisted. This structure is honestly pretty smart, and it uses the 2 biggest question marks of the series, the origins of Halbrand and the Wanderer, and plays one off the other to hide the twist in plain sight. But enough of this good writing stuff. You're here for the title. Why does the Rings of Power being bad make this twist work even further? Well, as earlier stated, we have things that have been causing me issues. The pacing, the small plot holes and conveniences that are building up like straws on a camel's back. And honestly, Halbrand's first scene with Celebrimbor was sending off all sorts of alarm bells for me. But due to my expectations of Rings of Power, I kinda just brushed it off. For example, how is Halbrand healed so quickly? Well, the Rings of Power rushes through many things I would have liked to have more time spent on. So this is just, another one of those times. How does he know of the gemstone? Well, we know that Halbrand has had training in Numenor, so it is possible he has seen them there, or maybe as other times that he was king of the Southlands. Well, he says that he learnt of Celebrimbor from his old master, presumably the one in Numenor. But as we know, Numenorians do not like elves, so why would they highly regard Celebrimbor? Well, that could just be another one of those small oversights of the writers. Hilariously, it was my lack of faith in the series writers' ability that led me to fall for the twist more than I would have if it had been consistent. And the thing is, the episode makes perfect sense. With Halbrand being Sauron, it was obvious that he was lying and bigging Celebrimbor up. The series makes way more sense as a whole with Halbrand being Sauron, and the twist does what the best twists do by recontextualizing scenes to mean more now that you have this new information. Halbrand's genuine anger means something different. The line, "Do you remember me?" changes completely. Adar killed Sauron after all. And when Adar asks who Halbrand is, Halbrand's back stays turned and he walks away. Dare I say, that's some good writing. And look, this is not to drag this series through the mud and just give it a backhanded compliment. The finale had a lot of cool little moments, such as when the Mithril is being melted and it creates this Eye of Sauron in the magma gloopy stuff. And then the reveal of the black flags of Numenor as the Queen Regent, the one who this news means most to, is unable to see the symbols, which then builds off her conversation with Elendil about loss of family underneath the boat, to the neat focus on Galadriel as Celebrimbor is repeating what Adar said back to her in the barn, to Galadriel having to give up her blade for the making of the rings, which was just a lovely nod to her arc and a metaphor for her literally giving up on her revenge for her brother. And, well, just the whole sequence of Sauron's reveal with Halbrand trying to convince Galadriel in different ways to think of Sauron as good. First through her brother, and then through Halbrand trying to use her words against her, as Halbrand, never lied or tried to outright deceive her. All culminating in this great irony of Galadriel that is her attempt to seek revenge and kill Sauron being the thing that in fact brought him back to Middle-earth. Also, this shot of them in the water is just really top drawer stuff. C'est magnifique. And this is not the only thing in the series I like. It was a good time, yes, with many, many issues, but still one I don't regret spending the time watching. Speaking of watching, thank you all for watching this video. And for my regular viewers, this is not the big video, I promise. That one is still very much in the works. It is coming. I just decided to make this video while the iron was hot. So I hope you forgive me. Thank you very much. And see you around. Bye-bye.